want to gently push back on one part of your comment, because I agree with the greater concept of it, but there is one thing I kind of want to talk about. In a perfect world, gross fiction doesn't exist. I want to offer you this perspective. In a perfect world, gross fiction does exist. In many people's perfect world, gross fiction does exist, because gross fiction is not bad. I think thanks to the collective shout situation, a lot of people are getting more on board with, okay, gross fiction exists because it has to, because the other option is getting rid of everything. And I think that's a good step one. But step two is the fact that gross fiction is not bad, is not morally evil, and does not say anything about the person that reads, writes, creates, or draws it. Also, sorry if my voice is busted. This is emergency and I'm a little sick today. For example, one of my favorite authors of all time is Stephen King, and I love his work, even the gross stuff. A lot of people do. I think furries are fun. I think furries are great. I have a fursona, and some of the best people in my life are furries. I wouldn't want to take away their weird, gross fiction. I'm happy it exists. Baldur's Gate is a game a lot of people love, and there's a scene where you have sex with a bear man, a man bear, but he's a bear when you do it. I write and read erotic horror. There's a lot of, knife sex. I have no idea how to say that any nicer way. And I think that's fun. And a lot of people think that's fun. It doesn't really say anything about us as people, right? It makes them happy. Who am I to judge? Doesn't make them bad people. But so far, I guess I'm listing off the stuff that most people can agree with. Most people can kind of get on board with furries or shifters. Most people can at least kind of understand having some kind of, like, finding some kind of fictional serial killer hot or something. For some reason, these are the ones people can kind of get on board with. Now, here's the part I think is going to piss a lot of people off. Flowers in the Attic is one of my favorite books of all time. I think Kaufman and Annie and Lele is one of the best indie games to come out of the last 5 years. And I'm not the only one that thinks it. There's a reason it was Steam's top-rated game in 2024. And there's a reason Flowers in the Attic was, like, a staple for people for years, decades. Did you see how many people got super hype and excited when Black Butler came back? People love that shit. It makes them so happy. One of the first books I ever got to give a presentation on at my school was Lolita, and I loved it. I like specializing in horror and taboo fiction, weird fiction, queer fiction, the fiction that makes a lot of people, including myself, sometimes deeply uncomfortable, because I think it speaks so much to our humanity and to our hearts and souls. I think fiction is the best place on earth for gross stuff to exist. In my perfect world, real abuse doesn't exist. Real abuse has been abolished by some kind of miracle. In my perfect world, there are no more CSA victims, there are no more SA victims, there are no more women being battered in their relationships, there are no more men not being believed when they are assaulted. That's my perfect world. You know what I mean? My perfect world has nothing to do with gross fiction, because gross fiction is stuff that hasn't happened, won't happen, and will not happen because it's fiction. So like I said, agree with the greater stance of your comment. Wanted to offer you a new perspective that the fiction itself is also not an ontological evil. It's just fiction. You don't have to like it. You don't have to read or write or participate in it. You can leave bad reviews for it, for all I care. You know what I mean? Be a hater to your core if that is what you're being called to do. But don't hate people. Don't hate the people who read, write, and create it. You can complain about the media. Don't go harass people. Because the fiction itself is indeed morally neutral, even if it is gross. Because nothing has ever happened, because the fiction itself does not exist, in a greater scale, it is morally neutral. Obviously, this has nuance when it comes to things like real-life bigotry, real-life marginalization, real-life abuse, fiction based off of real-life people. This is stuff that, again, footnote, caveat, I feel like I have to say it even though I'm very clearly saying it, you know what I mean? But, all in all, fiction is a morally neutral space. So in my perfect world, gross fiction still exists, because why wouldn't it? There's no reason to get rid of it.